All right, it's Bill. How are you guys doing? How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How
Good.
are you?
I'm doing well. I did not introduce you, so my bad on that. So, Brian.
I'm Noah.
It's a day, man. I'm so damn confused.
I'm Noah, and me and Bill are going to be here all day.
We are, yeah. So this is Brion Gamboa, right?
Gamboa.
Gamboa. There you go. Totally
Perfect.
screwed that up.
You're fine.
So I want to hear so our listeners can hear your impression of your radio voice. I want to hear that. We got to do that.
Well, Bill and I are going to get some coffee later, and after that, we're going to play some light evening listening for you. Here's a tune by Pablo Cruz. It's called "Downward Sun."
That was excellent.
You like that?
I about fell asleep. It was actually so
That's what I was shooting
smooth.
for.
It's so smooth.
They told us if we go to sleep, they'll give us a salad. So
that's good. I need a salad.
Yet.
That would be great. We take that very much. So how are you doing, man?
I'm excellent.
What brings you out to the show today?
Friends talking about everything under the sun today.
Yeah, I got a list of shit over here. So
I
I took some notes, man. I'm telling you, because if I don't take notes, I have notes to figure out how to work this whole damn thing.
Oh, I see the single on there. Look at all you got.
I
You
did
got
some
the
things.
band?
I read. I listened a little bit. I did some stuff. And Martin's been on our show a couple times. He's a good dude.
You know what I love about this? I'm seeing. Oh, this is great. Yeah. Wow. Cool. You got Soul Divide, the single from Breath of Ashes. Yes. So that's a single we
released. Did it cover everything?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, so I sang 2 songs on Mick Mars' record that came out last year in February.
Yep.
And then we were putting together the band even before that was a thing. We were trying to put together Breath of Ashes. And that finally came together, and then we did our first single. It was the end of June, 1st of July when that came out. So that's gotten really good response. What else has been going on? Well, so working on a couple of feature films.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So got
soundtrack-wise, or you're acting?
Yeah, composer and
that's cool.
Music supervisor. One of the films is Loaded Deck. I can actually talk about that one. That one, Jared Vineyard is the director, writer on that. It's got people like Kevin Sorbo and a bunch of great actors and actresses in that. But yeah, we're excited about that one.
So how do you get connected that way?
Man, I tell you what, that has been 15, 20 years in the making. So I've done a lot of television stuff and like publishing tunes, things like that. And it just, one thing kind of leads to another and kind of introduces you to people. But perseverance, and it's a tough world to crack into.
I imagine, yeah.
It's pretty limited on who does all that cool stuff. But just stayed after it and finally got some people to listen and get it. And, so, yeah, here we are on our way.
Wow,
so
that's
one
cool.
movie in pre-production and 2 ready to go after that.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So will you get royalty rights off that at some point? I mean, I'm only asking that because I don't know how this works. So, I mean, from that perspective. So, are you paid do you get paid for doing the work, or do you get paid from a residual thing based on how it does, or does it?
So, all movies, and contracts with people, all of them work differently.
Okay.
But typically, anybody who makes the music, right, has their publishing rights to that, and then there's the performance right, the intellectual property right. So when you make music for something like a TV show or a film, right, and there could be several hands in that, but you're basically giving a right of use for that, right?
Okay, makes sense.
Either for a fee, for a licensing fee, or something like that. It depends how you work it. There's many ways you can work a deal with something like that. And in a lot of cases, that film or whatever that project is has a right of use of that song for 99 years or a certain amount of time, or maybe it's limited. Maybe they only have a right of use of 45 seconds of it. Okay, so you've licenses a piece of it or the whole thing, and you're paid for that, a licensing fee, but you're also collecting your royalties.
Makes sense.
The more that's played or aired or a part of that sold, whatever the project happens to be. So when it comes to movies, movies work a little bit different, kind of a similar thing. You license the song out, or you've constructed it. You've kind of been commissioned
I see, yeah.
construct or compose a piece of music for something specific. And then it's, as far as the publishing, sometimes that's just you solely. Sometimes that's you and co-writers. Sometimes that's you and a record company if that's on your behalf, if you're under a label. So yeah, there's a million ways to go. But yes, you should be paid something.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially
you should
now.
always be paid
well, yeah,
something
especially
when you
now
create.
because I mean, I don't know how you guys do it because it's everybody wants to pay you nothing.
Right.
At least
That's
what
true.
that's what it appears to me to be.
It's very true.
I try to not buy stuff electronically anymore if I can, but it's so damn convenient. But I still buy vinyl and I still try to buy CDs on occasion and stuff like that because and when we go to shows and stuff like that, I try to do my best to help support the artist. I think there's this theory that you can do more with less.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you can't do more music with less money to be able to make the music.
Exactly.
And I think
exactly.
that when you apply that to a craft like what you guys have, it really doesn't work out. That's not a 1 + 1 = 2. That's a 1 + 1 = 0 sometimes. So
Well, not to blame things, but obviously there was a shift in the 90s when more technology came out.
Yeah.
It took away the ability to some degree for artists to actually make a profit.
yeah,
And so we were just talking about this a little while ago. You have to figure out how to create a different stream of income.
right. Yeah,
So as opposed to just, in the days of, okay, we make a record and that record sells for a certain amount of the store and then the percentage, by the time it comes back to the artist, you've made some money, right?
yeah.
Well, streams aren't even a percent
Yeah,
of a percent of a percent of what that is anymore, even though you still put in the work to create the product,
Yeah,
right?
but that's something happened here.
We went dead. Interface went off. Did somebody hit a cord?
Oh yeah, I'm going to stop this for a second.
Blew a fuse. Did you push stop?
I'm going to push stop.
We'll just
All
edit because John Brennan John Brennan just wiped out our system for a minute.
that big old damn
That's
cab.
okay. We're gonna edit in a sound bite of him going, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, I think his cowboy hat got in the way, and
That's exactly
I
what
don't
it
know. I think something. He
is.
fell.
That 10 gallons or 6?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't count that high. That's a big old melon on
He's
there.
killing our power. Leave it to John.
All right, we were trying to figure out how to get people paid. I think, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, you change up your style, how you monetize it, right? You lean into merchandise, you lean into endorsements with things. So your art really isn't being paid as much as the things that surround your art.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you figure out how to do that around the art. That's really the trick of it, which is a trick.
Yeah,
But
it definitely is a trick. I just think we just need to continue to support people, go to shows and stuff like
Always.
that, and especially even local stuff, especially.
And if you can buy something from the artist directly,
Yeah.
do that.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
then
absolutely.
they're actually getting some money,
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
things are a good thing.
Yeah, if you're buying it off their webpage, that kind of stuff, that money is going straight back to
Exactly.
them for sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the way that works. for
The
sure.
best way to do it.
Yep.
Then-
So have you had a good time today?
I've had a great time today.
deal.
It's like a family reunion in here. All the different people. Really, literally, when you live in Nashville for any amount of time, and a lot of these people that are walking around do.
Yeah.
A lot of the artists do. You just become family.
Yeah, it's
Instantly.
amazing to be part of that and to be able to be here and as you meet people like yourself and stuff like that, you see people out every now and then. Period. That I'm not from here, but Christopher Williams, we've known him for a long time, and
Really?
and he. Interesting. I was just walking down Broadway one time. We were here just randomly, and he was playing in one of the he was playing back, and I'm like, shit, what is he doing sitting there?
Right.
I waited around. His set got done or whatever, and I saw him in the hall, and he was running to another gig. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I had some downtime. I got to go play.
Right.
All
right.
man. Crazy guy.
Oh no, Chris is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. A long time ago, man, back in 2010 or so, we played like a cover thing together a few times, and I was just like, gosh, he is such a solid drummer. And then, then you just see where his career has taken him.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. He's
I
awesome.
think it's what I sense here is it's a brotherhood, not a competition.
Oh yeah. No,
I don't, and I which I think is really cool, because I think when I read stuff back from the '80s, and that when metal was really starting, and that '80s rock stuff was going on, it was a lot more. It seemed to be pretty cutthroat. I don't know if it was.
I think you had a lot of bold personalities.
I think you're right.
And you had a lot of people that were very young.
Yeah.
And at that time, a lot of people would cut on each other and kind of and then they'd get pissed, and then they'd go back and forth. I think the competition, though, really was more with the business end.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of those guys, all of us actually, that were part of that generation, you meet people out playing, you meet them at festivals, you meet them at shows, you meet them at different things, and you become friends, and you keep those friendships. Now, some are tighter than others, but and you can even see it as evidence here today. You see a bunch of people around here walking around.
Yeah.
They're all friends.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all
the cool
friends.
part, and you've seen you guys talking and chatting and trying to figure out where you've been, or walking up and seeing some of you guys hugging, and you're like, I haven't seen you in like 2 years and stuff like that. And I think that's
I saw you at this festival. Oh yeah, were you on the cruise? Yeah.
Have you done the cruises? You done some of those?
I have.
The Monster of Rock cruises?
I have.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, well, I'll just put it this way. I'm working on something to try to go out next year. Last one I did was the Kiss Cruise. What was it? Kiss Cruise. It's playing with a big rock show. Gosh,
okay.
Which one was it? Kiss Cruise 5 or Kiss Cruise 6? I can't remember which one now. But that was a blast. Those guys are awesome, and you're familiar with the big rock show guys. So Jeremy Asbrock, Ryan Cook. And of course now they're playing with their heroes.
Yeah, they're playing.
Which is so awesome to see.
I've seen them on the Gene tour, and we've had them on the show many times.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's great. It's amazing.
And then you've got the other half of like the residency, like Philip Schaus and Chris and and Martin going off to Accept, which is it's such a tight, small world. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that for me at least, being a fan, being able to do this, and we're one of the few people that have been. We've been to every one of the ROCKNPODs we've had. So There's only a couple. There's only one other one.
I remember seeing you a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so we've been to all of them, but it's and the interviews and stuff we've done. You get a little starstruck sometimes, but after you've done it for a little while, you realize we're just people.
They're all people.
And everybody is cool as hell. We've not had anybody, we've never interviewed anybody that was difficult or hard to work with or a pain in the ass or anything like that. Typically, it's everybody let's just have a chat, and it's awesome.
Exactly.
And so many times you meet the people that you really admire or enjoy being around. And, or listening to, and you find out they're absolute jackasses, and that's not good. And I think that's how, I really worried the first time I met the members of KISS. I'm a huge KISS fan. I did not want to find out that, like, the first time I met Gene, that he was going to be a horse's ass. So, and he wasn't at all.
No,
so it just, that to me was huge. So, and I think that's something that, especially in the community that you have here in Nashville, I think that keeps that down.
And people are people, right? I mean, it's everybody's human, so I guess it would maybe depend on the approach. But you put yourself in a position to be social, right? You that's your job.
Yeah, you decided to be social, so you need to be social.
And maybe if you got an off day or something, and you're trying to hide somewhere or something, and you're approached maybe, really aggressively. Okay, well that could rub somebody wrong. But I don't. In Nashville, that doesn't happen at all.
Yeah, I can see that.
People are cool. They're chill. Everything's fine. And I have yet to see somebody have a problem with anything like that. No, everybody gets along great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome place.
Well, man, I really appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit.
Having me on.
Sorry about the little technical difficulty we had there. We'll get that cut out.
Well, we're going to tease John Brennan infinitely for this.
Yeah, what's he doing over there?
He's breaking somebody else's podcast.
Probably.
Rig.
Oh, now
He just unplugged someone else.
I don't know. He makes me nervous. We don't have him. I feel safe though. Look, we don't have him on our list, so I feel better about that. He'll never know.
Why
he'll never
is he
hear
on
this.
that side of the table?
I don't
anyway?
know. Who would let? I would know.
He's got his own.
Does he have his own podcast?
He does. It says.
Wow.
Oh yeah, something
I didn't
real.
know that. That's interesting. Is it the Black Hat podcast? Or?
It says something about because the real world.
Oh yeah.
It says something real. I don't know what it is though. But yeah,
Well,
man,
really fake podcast. I don't know.
can't wait to see you again.
Good to see you, buddy.
For sure. Thank you for having me.